Good morning, Malacañang Press Corps and guest. Welcome sa press briefing ni Presidential Spokesperson Ernesto Abella. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Rocky. Yeah. Good morning. Happy Independence Day. Our resource person for today is Attorney Rodolfo Salalima, Secretary of the Department of Information and Communications Technology. He has had enormous experience, 4 decades in the field of information and communications technology, telecommunications and broadcast, and value-added services. He was elected as president, chairman, head of various national organizations and federations involved in ICT, telecommunications, and broadcasts. He was also delegate, advisor, spokesperson for the official Philippine delegation to the International Telecommunication Union, yearly council, and every 4 years at the Plenipotentiary Conference and to the Asia-Pacific Telecommunity yearly meetings. So, ladies and gentlemen of the Press Corps in Malacañang, let us welcome Secretary Salalima.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Congratulations on our Independence Day yesterday. Because yesterday also we introduced the projects along EDSA. I have prepared a speech, but let me do the same extemporaneously. And with me around is Undersecretary General Reo, who is in charge of the special concerns of the department. And we have also Assistant Secretary Alan Camanlong, who is in charge of cybersecurity. In the event that you have questions other than what I'm going to cover today, they are ready to give you the answers. Recall that the DICT is only a year old. It was created under Republic Act 10844. The same took effect on June 9, 2016, last year. I was appointed as the first secretary of the DICT on June 2016, and this is about a year after I was appointed as the first secretary. Recall that under the law, the DICT has 4 great mandates. One is the matter of planning and issuing policy in regard to use and applications of technology, the ICT. Number 2 is the need to improve public access to telecommunications services in the country. Number 3 is the building of infrastructure and infrastructure sharing plus capacity building in terms of the structure of the country, in terms of our citizens being aware and being able to use ICT. And number 4, the protection of the consumers in regard their ICT rights, particularly their right to privacy and their right to cybersecurity. Last year po, during the first SONA address of our President, the President ordered us to do 3 basic things. The National Broadband Plan, number 2, the Wi-Fi, and the portal. Ano po yung broadband plan? Kasi po kulang tayo ng infrastructure throughout the country. Ito po yung broadband is the telecom network which would run from north to south, and the purpose of this is for government to have a network to serve government itself and to serve the countryside. Status po niyan, we already have a blueprint of the broadband plan. The blueprint, in the interest of transparency, ay inalagay po natin online for the citizens' comment. After that, the President approved the blueprint of our plan, and currently we are investigating, verifying sites of the National Grid Power Corporation. Pinabayaan po tayong pumasok para malaman natin kung anong mga facility ng National Grid Power Corporation ang pwedeng gamitin natin sa broadband. And we now have with us the Memorandum of Understanding possible for signing by the DICT, the government, and the National Grid Power Corporation in the event that we agree on using the facilities and on other terms. Ito po namang Wi-Fi, ito po yung the so-called Wi-Fi fidelity or wireless fidelity na inilalagay natin ngayon sa mga public places throughout the country, even in Metro Manila, pag wala ang mga taong access sa internet dahil kulang tayo ng connectivity, yung mga tao natin ay hindi ma-reach ang services ng mga telco. Ito po yung portal naman ay we need to establish a single portal within DICT so that the citizen can access the online services of the various departments of government centralized doon sa DICT so that ito pong citizens natin, instead, say for example, of commuting from one department of government to another just to transact business with these branches of government, pwede na po tayong mag-transact using the portal. Ito pong Wi-Fi ay implement na natin throughout the countryside. And an example of that Wi-Fi project is the one that we launched po sa EDSA kahapon along the entire stretch of EDSA. The plan is to put up all Wi-Fi facilities in sites so that po yung citizens natin na nagta-travel along EDSA will have access to the telecommunication services so that in the event, siguro, kung medyo na-late because of the traffic, they can communicate to their home or to their offices para malaman kung saan na sila. And remember here, inintroduce po natin ang concept of telecommuting. There are times when you need to work, there are times when you need to learn, but it does not necessarily follow that you have to go to your physical places of work or to school just to learn or to physical places of conference because there is a concept called telecommuting, that is teletransporting or telepresence, where workers can work without necessarily going to work, where children can learn from schools without necessarily going to school. So kahapon po, inalance po natin sa EDSA yung free Wi-Fi, at the same time also yung internet speed sa EDSA pinabilis natin. Sa Sio Boulevard po kahapon, we made a test of the internet speed and we monitor something like 200 to 300 megabytes per second upload and download. Samantalang po, ang world record is something like 40 megabytes per second, and this is being held by South Korea. Talking po of our infrastructure, this reminds me of the rural impact sourcing. Ano po ang rural impact sourcing na inintroduce ng DICT sa countryside? In connection with the so-called rural impact sourcing, we were asked, what is po the role of government in providing digital opportunities to our people in the countryside? So napag-uusapan po natin dito ang livelihood ng mga tao sa countryside far away from Metro Manila. During a conference in Davao, during the first week of April 2017, we held a nationwide rural impact sourcing, and I said, for the government to provide digital opportunities to the people in the countryside, there are about 3 or 4 steps. 1, bring technology to the countryside, bring technology education to people in the countryside. Number 2, educate the people, train our people on the use and applications of technology. And when they are already aware and able to use technology, I said, introduce businesses in the countryside either by these people already trained to use ICT to be entrepreneurs in their own right, or bring the BPOs from Metro Manila to the countryside so that those employees, or rather those people in the countryside who were taught on the use of ICT ay pwedeng ma-employ ng BPOs. An example of self-entrepreneurship in the countryside na ang tao trinay natin to use ICT for their livelihood. There is this kapatagan in Lanao del Norte. People there live in a fertile plain, and most of them are farmers. During the day, people very young, 30 to 40, are farmers. But during the evening po, they operate their own BPOs, business processing offices. They have clients from abroad. And these farmers po are earning something like 1,000 to 40,000 pesos a month on top of what they are earning in the lands. In Cagayan de Oro po, we are also training students not yet out of high school. And these students, once trained, are being employed po by the BPOs in the countryside. Iyon po naman gustong mo masukan na hindi na pwedeng pumunta sa Maynila to contribute to the congestion in the overpopulation natin sa Maynila. We have invited the BPOs in Metro Manila to go to the provinces. And they have gone to Bacolod, Cebu, Legazpi, Davao, etc. in Eastern Visayas. And how do we either bring the BPOs to the countryside? We invite po the BPOs in Metro Manila under the so-called First Wave Cities. That is a program of the DICT. Paano po naman yung mga local BPOs that we established in coordination with the local government units, the offices of the mayor who provide us with the physical facilities. We coordinate with the locals of the so-called National Information and Communication Technology Council established throughout the Philippines in coordination with us. And then we established local BPOs run by people in the countryside. Marami po tayong ginagawa, and sa mga ginagawa namin, some projects I may not be able to mention ngayon. At the end of my talk ngayon sa inyo, bibigyan po kayo ng report to the President tungkol sa mga ginawa natin, and attached to that report ay yung pamphlet reporting to our government what we have done in a year's time. And we have done this, notwithstanding the fact that wala po tayong organization pa ngayon because the DICT is a new department. Ang gumagalaw po ngayon sa DICT ay mga 20 to 30 active people lang. The law gave us 6 months to organize the DICT, but there are certain coordinations yet to be made with the budget department, to be made with the civil service, so that we can formally organize yung DICT. So, on top po of the broadband, on top po of the Wi-Fi, on top po of the portal, yung pong portal, ready na rin po. By about the end of this month, we will have a meeting, and we will be, as we have now asked the President to issue an executive order urging all departments of government to transfer, to migrate yung lahat ng data nila, lahat ng systems and processes nila to DICT para po yung online service nila, the people can avail of the online services of the various agencies of the government, like po ng NBI, like po yung statistics office natin. Kung nandyan po iyan sa control na ng DICT, people need no longer go from place to place just to contact all these departments through our portal. One way, one-stop shop portal, pwede na ang tao, maski sa probinsya, use our portal to transact, say for example, with the NBI, the BIR, and other government agencies. Maliban po doon, yung sinasabi nating People Connect, dati tawag namin dito is One Connect. May nag-object po because wala po sa gender. So pinalitan namin, instead na calling it naman Wana, baka magalit ang mga Juan, ginamit namin People. Ito po yung in-employ namin sa EDSA kahapon, maliban to the fact na ang People Connect ay ini-implement na rin natin sa buong countryside. So, sa cybersecurity naman po, nandyan si Mr. Alan Cabanglon. We have reorganized and invigorated the Cybersecurity Investigation Coordinating Center, which is chaired by me po, so that in the event of kung may mga cybersecurity problems tayo, ako po ang nagtatawag sa mga different agencies of government on how to mitigate, on how to prevent, or on how to deal with cybercrimes as object of our cybersecurity measures. Ito pong cybersecurity natin, na kapag tapos na po tayo, we have already released a primer, the cybersecurity plan of the country up to 2022. And we have had a memorandum of agreement between the cybersecurity of Malaysia for mutual help in cooperation, even as we are now coordinating with other local and international agencies on how to deal with cyber crimes via cyber security. Nagkaroon rin po tayo ng sinasabing Digital TV Summit last October, November. Ano po ang sinasabing Digital TV Summit? Ito po yung pag-migrate ng television natin, ng broadcast natin from presently analog to digital. And in the migration of our television from analog to digital, ang gagamitin po natin yung Japanese technology. Why? Because ang digital po technology, ang vision or ang video and the voice are clearer, on top of the fact that yung Japanese technology po ay may kasamang national or disaster program in control na pwedeng i-flash natin sa mga TV natin. Nagkaroon din po tayo ng Philippine Telecommunications Summit nung last first week of March 2017. Ano po ang layunin ng Telecommunications Summit? In that Telecommunications Summit attended nationwide, attended by people from all walks of life, from those providing telecoms and from those utilizing telecommunication services. We addressed po the concern of the Filipino people in regard our otherwise not yet very good telecommunication service. From the viewpoint of affordability or cost. Bakit mahal, sabi po ninyo, ang gastusin when we use our services? Bakit ang speed ng internet ay mabagal? And bakit sa ibang lugar there are no ways and means by which people can connect to or have access to the telecommunication service? Nakita po natin ang mga solusyon, but we are only 1 year old. So ang pahiwatig ko lang po sa madlang bayan is be a little more patient, give us more time, because one by one we will solve your problems in regard the state of the Philippine Telecommunication Service. Nagkaroon po rin tayo ng ICT Summit. Ano po naman ang ICT Summit? Because throughout the world, we have the so-called smart city movement. People improving the cities, digitizing the cities, because the technology is the enabler for people, for them to enhance and to improve their lives. So, ito po yung ISOMIT, Digitized City or Smart City. We want to digitize our city so that we can keep abreast with the other cities throughout the world who are already far advanced as far as smart cities are concerned. ICT development countryside, we have po yung Tech for Ed project. Ito po yung educational arm ng DICT. We go to the countryside, teach people, particularly those youth who are out of school, in the use and applications of technology. Even government offices, we invite them for them to learn the use and applications po of technology. And on top of that, may mga seminars po kaming kinoconduct and we issue certifications or sort of diploma on a one-week training, and these certifications signed by me are used by these out-of-school youth so that they can gain employment in BPOs na ino-honor naman po ng mga BPOs. Yung rural impact sourcing, ito po yung providing education in the countryside to empower our people in terms of governance, for them to be able to participate in Philippine governance, to educate our people, and to make our people employed or otherwise for them to be entrepreneurs in their own right. Diyan na lang po ako hihinto, and unless you have some questions, particularly on what happened in EDSA yesterday when we launched our project, dalawang project po yun, yung free Wi-Fi. Kaya nga po ngayon sa EDSA, you have 3 free Wi-Fi. From government, from SMART, and from Globe. And we have, or we introduced, yung high-speed internet. Yung sabi ko nga sa inyo kahapon, nag-test kami sa Show Boulevard na nagkaroon kami ng program kahapong umaga. Yung speed po ng internet doon is 200 to 300 megabytes. Samantalang ang world record holder, South Korea, ang speed sa kanila is only about 45 megabytes per second. But hope is springs eternal. Sabi ko sa NTC at DICT, after kahapon, go out in the field today and the rest of the week. Tingnan natin kung we will be able to maintain that kind of speed. Because sabi ko, pag tumakbo na ang mga pasahero, humugos na ang tao, maaapektuhan pa rin ang speed because siyempre marami nang gumagamit. So, iyan po ang status ng Wi-Fi natin sa EDSA. And it may take us more time to do all this in obedience to public service. But we are glad to be of help, and in some ways, our heart are laden with happiness when we see people happy because they can now communicate in a manner fast, whether employer, whether comrades with their friends, particularly the loved ones at home.
Question?
So, for all this, salamat po for the time and the opportunity for given to us this morning to talk with you.
Thank you, Secretary Salalima. Question, Pia Ranyada, Rappler.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. Sir, just a question on the EO, which you said you requested from the President. What was the President's reaction to the request?
Which one is this?
The EO, sir, on yung asking government agencies to transfer all of their data to the DICT.
Nandoon po sa office ng President, but ito po naman kasi yung broadband natin, Wi-Fi in the portal, ay inapruban po ito ng Cabinet way back. And itong executive order is only a means to execute the portal plan. So I have no doubt that the President naman will approve the executive order on portal or urging simply all government offices to migrate na yung data nila, yung processes doon sa amin.
Sir, given that request you've made in this plan, what is your timeline for when people can already use the government portal for all of their transactions with government?
Depende na rin sa fast ng migration ng mga government agencies because ang portal po namin nakaready na. Aantayin naman namin ang pag-transfer ng mga processes ng mga data ng government agencies. But I understand that we have already something like 125 minor agencies of government with us. One of them is BIR. And they transferred all their data and processes to us because they feel that their data are safer with us. And in fact, after this income tax filing natin last April, the BIR wrote us a letter thanking us for the speed with which people were able to file their income taxes online. Thank
Sir,
you.
aside from BIR, which are the other agencies that have already, the major ones?
Did you know?
Department of Finance, Department of actually 170.
Pia, I would request that you come to my office. Nandoon si Dennis Villorente. Dennis Villorente is in charge. Dapat kasama siya dito, but he begged off because he is rushing another project. But we have the list.
Sir, just last na lang on the date,
Okay.
on the timeline, the target. I know you're waiting for other agencies to come on board, but do you have a target para we can expect something by this time? Parang a goal that you're trying to reach out for?
Siguro matagal na sang 6 months dapat mag-transfer ng lahat. Because we are going to have this portal meeting again at the end of the month. Yes, I think June 30 or somewhere there. Or first week of July we have. But naka-ready na po ang portal namin.
Sir, just to clarify, you're not saying that all agencies will have no websites. You're just saying, sir, the transactions will be in this portal, but other agencies can have their own websites.
They may
Tama ba?
have their own, but we are also asking them to transfer it to us na, slowly. Kagaya po ng Department of Labor and Employment, they have a special website for OFW. So, during the cabinet meeting, sabi ko naman kay Secretary of Labor, sabi ko, go ahead, because that website of yours on the OFW caters to the special, unique needs of our workers abroad because they can use your websites even if they are abroad. But sabi ko, eventually, yung website nyo ay dadalhin natin sa DICT. Parang doon na lang sa DICT, doon na lang ang main central portal.
Okay, thank you, Pia. Last two questions. Ina Andulong.
Hi, sir. Sir, what effect do you see itong the free Wi-Fi being offered by private telcos? What effect could that have on the services they're offering to paying customers? And how are you making sure that telcos won't use the free Wi-Fi that they're offering as an excuse if in case it has or magkaroon po ng negative effect dun sa services for paying customers?
Mukhang wala namang negative effect ang Wi-Fi nila to the paying customers. In fact, they said they want to put up this Wi-Fi precisely for people to have access to their communication services. In fact, more than yung sa EDSA route, pati yung mga bus stop stations, nilalagyan nila. Because sabi nila, this Wi-Fi na ibinibigay naming offer to the public will also hasten the public's use of our telecommunication service. Kasi kung minsan, gusto mo mang gamitin ang services nila, but there are certain areas where hindi ka makapag-connect sa service nila. So they put up the Wi-Fi in the same way that was precisely our plan. Dahil while they have their network, kadalasan kasi ang network nila are more on those places which are viable. This is business. So, they are putting Wi-Fi, not only government, so that in those places na people have no access to their services, magkaroon na. So, the effect is not negative but positive. And I think they are offering, the way I heard him right, every individual is given 30 minutes of Wi-Fi per day, refreshable the following day.
Okay, thank you. Last question. Pia, to be followed by Roscos.
Sir, dun sa portal ng DICT, can the public be assured of the safety of government data? What is the DICT doing to prevent a repeat of what happened to the website of COMELEC last 2015, sir?
Iyon nga one of the reasons why you are asking government now to migrate all their databases to us, because that is also part of our mandate. And I assure you that the DICT will take care of all your data encoded in the databases of all government. That is why I got Asika Banlong from the police, because he is experienced. He is called abroad on cybersecurity, and he is working with us, and he is fast enough to issue and publish immediately our cyber security plan for 2022. We are doing our best to protect your data, as in some businesses, we are there. And ito po kasing National Privacy Commission, nandiyan rin sa amin. So, we have great coordination inside, even as I was designated by law to be the chairman on cybercrime. And more than that, we are doing everything to protect your personal, sensitive personal data, as what happened lately in another case, where immediately on the morning of the incident, I called up the industry and said, tell me what happened. We invited the cyber expert of that entity. I asked him to tell us what happened. We invited the one in charge of the internal processing of that agency, asked them as to what happened, and on top of that, I said, Mr. Liboro, issue a formal investigation to them, because I want to get into the bottom of all these things, because I want to see to it that the sensitive personal data of our citizens are protected. In the same way that yung National Privacy Commission po of Monliboro was able to investigate what happened in COMELEC, and we were the one who disclosed that, in fact, in that investigation, some personal data of some of our citizens were compromised. We are doing everything.
Okay, thank you, Pia.
COMELEC happened, COMELEC was not yet in our data center. Now they are.
Yeah. Pia, nung nangyari yon, yung COMELEC wala pa sa amin. After the investigation, and we gave them the results of our investigation, dali-daling binigay sa amin ang mga data.
Okay.
Ngayon, they feel safe. Nasa portal na namin.
Okay, thank you, Pia. Secretary, allow me to ask this question, online question from Jingjing. Secretary Salalima, kailan po bibilis daw ang internet na pinoprovide ng mga telecom sa bansa? From Jingjing.
I asked them during the summit. They promised me September 16. I will simply follow it up and hope that by September 16, we have a fast internet as we did in EDSA. Ito po yung EDSA, nangyari po niyan, si Secretary Abella, kinausap ako isang gabi na inaantok na ako at pagod na ako. Sabi niya, Sec, baka naman pwede nating gawa ng paraan ang EDSA. Sabi ko, kailan natin gustong i-launch? June 12. Sabi ko, isang buwan lang ito, paano kaya? So, I formed a task force, and I said to the stakeholders, Meralco, MMDA, DOTR, the MRT, everybody who were there, I said, I am not going to accept no from you. I want high-speed internet along EDSA. I want Wi-Fi in a month's time, and we did it. We want to replicate what happened in that project, and I want to employ it throughout the country. Even as now, I have a pending draft of an executive order with the Office of the President, limiting the time with which the LGUs and other local government agencies has to act on the permits ng mga telcos for the purpose of installing and operating these services. I tell you a very practical a solution. Ito pong Vietnam. They have 70,000 cell sites. Yung mobile nila was established, commercialized only after the Philippines. Philippines, ilan ang cell sites natin ngayon? 16,000. Our population is less. Why? Because yung subdivisions natin in Metro Manila, ang lalaki, don't want the telcos to come in. And yet, they are the ones complaining na hindi mabilis ang internet nila, nagdadrap ang calls. Sa probinsya, 25 permits just for one cell site. For one permit, LGU, how long does it take? 8 months or more? Kuminsan, wala pa. So I drafted this executive order for the president to sign. Even before the president could sign, I already issued a letter addressed to all LGUs. I said, this is a project of national significance. Public service cannot wait. You have to issue your permit in 9 days' time, beyond which you will suffer the wrath of government. They are moving. But I feel that with the executive order, they will move faster than what I ordered them. So yan po.
Last question, Ross. Brief lang ha.
Sir, in relation to that, yung September 16 date po na binigay nyo, sir, kasi last year nag-issue rin ng statement si Pangulong Duterte na yung mga major telecom companies, if they will not improve their services, i-open po natin yung atin pong bansa sa international competitors. So, pag hindi po nag-improve yung services nila by September 16, are we going to accept yung atin pong international competitors?
Tama naman si Presidente because even under Executive Order 7925, which took effect in March 1995, the country is free for anyone to enter as a third, a fourth, or a fifth party operator in the country. Nandun po yun sa batas. And we are inviting. But ang sabi ko lang sa NTC, sabi ko, if you are going to license a third-party operator, may mga third-party na tayo dito, but they are not of such size as to compete with the duopoly. Sabi ko, get a third-party operator with a big local component and a very big partner from abroad because they have to have deep packets to compete with the duopoly. So, open po tayo.
Okay, thank you, Ross. Ina Andolong, last question.
Sir, before I go to my question on cybersecurity, I just want a quick follow-up. Pagkatapos po ng MRT, ano po yung next target na public areas na bibigyan ng Wi-Fi and how soon?
Yung Wi-Fi po natin, yung sa government at least, nagsimula na po tayo. May mga listed areas po tayo. So, naglalagay na po tayo. Some areas in the north, may mga listahan po tayo. Sa Mindanao, in fact, sa Legazpi, I was there. I was speaking in a conference. Sabi nila, walang connect dito. So I said, put for Wi-Fi. May listahan po tayo. Ang listahan po ay nasa kay Dennis Llorente. If you want to examine our list, because you may be living in the province na walang connect, so that you can tell your congressman na may nasa listahan sila. In fact, I invited the congressman to see also our list para ma-accelerate ang paglagay ng Wi-Fi. Nandoon po kay Dennis Llorente.
Sir, what role does DICT have in the AFP's request to take down, I believe, more than 60 social media accounts that are spreading ISIS propaganda?
To the extent that they effect or they commit cyber crimes, then the ICC takes over. Remember, rebellion, sedition are crimes under the old penal code. You do sedition. You incite people via cyber or via internet. I call it, there is cyber rebellion, there is cyber sedition. But kasi ang rebellion, there must be a taking up of arms. So pag sa online, it could amount to cyber sedition.
Sa ngayon, sir, ano po ang assessment ninyo doon? So are you taking any action?
We are involved. We are involved. Confidential lang, ha?
Okay.
Confidential lang ito. We are involved, confidential, may huhuli na. Cyber sedition. may huhuli. We are not going to name the persons. We were able to track about more than one last night.
Galing po to dun, sir, sa 60 plus, sa 63 na nire-request ng AFP na
Hindi
i-take
ko
down.
alam, but nandito si Cabanlong, but he is not going to be interviewed on the details. Okay?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Secretary Salalima, Presidential Spokesperson Ernesto Abella.
Good morning. We'd like to go straight to the update on the action in Marawi as of 7 p.m., 12th of June 2017. We'd like to go directly first to significant developments. As of number one, June 12 ceremonial flag raising events were successfully held in Marawi capital and the city municipal hall. 2. Troops continue to gain important foothold in the inner areas of terrorist-held areas. 3. Enemy resistance continues to dwindle and enemy-held areas are getting smaller as troops advance. 4. Various critical sectors in peripheral areas are now cleared. 5. Compounding development remains to be the use of civilians as human shields and madrasas and mosques as staging areas and safe havens. 6. The continued discovery of tunnels that are possibly utilized by the enemy remains to be among the compounding issues. General Eduardo Año, the Chief of Staff, AFP, reiterates his continuing guidance to put premium on civilian lives, respect for civilian property during clearing operations, and complete discipline among our men in uniform conducting military activities in the area. As of 8 a.m. this morning, June 13, the Maute/ASG shot dead 5 civilians, while 5 others escaped and were retrieved by troops in Marawi, while another 8 captured by terrorists on the morning of Monday, June 12, 2017. According to the 5 survivors, Maute ASG knocked on the door of a house where 18 trapped civilians were staying, and that prompted the civilians to run using the back door going to the river. The terrorists ran after them and indiscriminately fired at them, killing 5 of the civilians and taking the remaining 8 as hostages. The 5 newly rescued retrieved civilians were immediately given food, medical help, and processed by joint AFP/LGU/CSO. As of date, total rescued civilians number now 1,618, while recorded civilians killed by Maute/ASG is 26. End of statement regarding Marawi. On other aspects, the Philippines. The Philippines is still considered among the most promising investment destinations. The United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD, has stated in its World Investment Report 2017 that the Philippines is included in the list of most promising investment destination in the Asian region. In addition, it also reported that the foreign direct investment inflow of the Philippines in 2016 has recorded an increase of 60%, amounting to 8 billion. Among salient points, it is the reduced red tape and efficient delivery of government services that are the hallmark of the current government. Also, employment rate in April 2017 is estimated at 94.3%. The April 2017 Labor Force Survey of the Philippine Statistics Authority has projected an increase of 94.3% in employment rate for the month of April, higher than the April 2016 employment rate of 93.9. Out of the projected employment rate, the service sector is the highest percentage of workers, gaining 55.4%, followed by the agriculture sector gaining 26.1%. Similarly, the unemployment rate is projected to reach 5.7% for the month of April, lower than the April 2016 unemployment rate of 6.1%. Also, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas has reported a growth in the overall confidence index, CI, of 13.1% for the second quarter of 2017. There is soaring consumer optimism due to the improvements in the peace and order situation in the country, higher salary, stronger business activity, increase of available jobs, and number of employed individuals, and effective government policies such as Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino or 4Ps, and increased pension for retirees. We are open for a few questions.
Tina Panganiban Perez, GMA 7. Microphone please, Pia. Thank you.
Sir, Tina from GMA.
Yes,
Sir, there are reports that the palace knew of the Marawi plot even before the attack. So there are questions why it has reached to this level. Bakit po hindi napigilan agad ng government? And also AFP had several intel reports na nandun na si Hapilon in Marawi, April and May. Sir, the palace knew of the Marawi plot.
There were
ahead of the attack.
details regarding the plot, yes, and that is exactly why they took advantage. They started to take action. So, and you know, we need to understand also that the perception that it was well, we need to also take note of the fact that the early action of the military and the government has actually preempted their plans to be able to capture the city. So we need to credit that. Yes, there were intel, but it was something that had to be vetted and to be authorized properly. Thank you. Next.
So, sir, wait. Sorry.
Yes.
Are you saying that the situation could be worse?
Apparently, you know, but were it not for the early and decisive action of the military, then it could have been worse.
Sir, another totally unrelated to Marawi.
Yes.
Yesterday, Secretary Cayetano said the president wasn't feeling well. What exactly happened? May we know? And how is he now?
The president is actually in excellent health, except for the fact that his schedules have been brutal. I mean, you have to credit the president, considering everything, that he has been actually honoring the military dead, the civilian dead, and he has been actually going around. And in fact, he would have wanted to be at the symbolic raising and honoring of the dead. However, the fact is, he was already doing it for the rest of the week. So I think we need to allow him a few rest. He was actually on top of the situation. However, he also needed rest.
Sir, sorry, last. Going back to Marawi, has China or Russia offered any help to the government?
As far as we know, there are no direct offers regarding the matter. Yes,
Okay,
but we've been doing pretty well considering the situation.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
thank you, Tina. Gerald, TV5.
Good morning, sir. Gerard De La Peña from TV5 and
Yes,
Bloomberg
ma'am.
TV
Yes, sir.
Philippines. Given the developments in Marawi, can we say that there are signs that Maute Group is already withdrawing?
Well, as I previously said, you know, it seems that the resistance is dwindling. So we can only give you calibrated answers. We cannot give you absolute answers at this stage. Yes.
Sir, we also received reports na meron daw mga 60 cops na nawawala and also may mga nadukot na military men. Do we have any information on this?
Regarding that, we don't have official reports as of now. Yes.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Tuesday New, DCBB.
Hi, sir.
Yes.
Sir, malaman lang po namin, ano po ang naging reaksyon ni Presidente doon sa hindi naabot na target po na maliberate ang Marawi dapat po kahapon as mentioned ng ating mga military officials? Mayroon po ba siyang mga bagong directives regarding this?
Well, tuloy-tuloy po ang laban. As I said, we will not stop until it's finished. The June 12 was a working deadline set by the military. However, as you have very well seen, that the issue is more complicated on the ground. But considering the fact that they've done great advances, I think we need to credit that. The president has been very supportive and is quite emphatic that the Marawi should be totally settled, and not only Marawi, but also the threats, terrorist threats, should be completely addressed in the entire island of Mindanao. Yes.
Sir, one thing, sir.
Yes.
There are information circulating na yung Maute brothers daw po ay napatay na at nailibing na raw po, nakita raw po ito nung kanilang mother bago siya naaresto. Nakarating na po ba itong impormasyon na ito sa presidente?
If so, it must be verified. Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
Miss Lily, CCTV? Microphone, please, Tuesday.
I want to know yesterday's timeline, which was set by President Duterte. So now it's still not finished. So is there any next timeline set
As
by
I
the
said
president?
earlier, let me
Yes.
just say it more slowly, I suppose. It was a working deadline set by the military, and the president his intentions are really to complete the work, but it must be complete and total work. In other words, it's not just the Marawi situation that has to be addressed. It must be the terrorist threat in the entire Mindanao and in the Philippines. So we are achieving our milestones. We celebrate the milestones. We, in fact, the fact is, we were able to raise the flag in Marawi yesterday, in spite of some pockets of resistance. So, yes, we continue to pursue the total, complete clearing of Marawi and hopefully of Mindanao.
Okay, sir. I understand. So how can we call it an end?
Like I said, it's a working deadline. It's something that they set for themselves, and so it's a process of achieving towards that. It's not an end; it's a goal. Okay. See.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you, Miss Lillian, CCTV, PR of Rappler.
Hi, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
The Integrated Bar of the Philippines, Lanao del Sur chapter, issued a statement condemning illegal searches and seizures as martial law, as abuses in the martial law being implemented in Mindanao. How is the palace treating these claims? Are we looking into them?
First and foremost, the president appreciates the support of the Lanao del Sur's IBP chapter for its declared support of martial law. However, he also assures them that concerns over alleged excesses will be quickly addressed and all abuses will be stopped and punished.
Sir, what is the mechanism for addressing these concerns? Are we creating a task force to look into it? Is the AFP-PNP going to create? Is there already a mechanism for?
They already have their own set mechanism. They have their own set mechanism. But regarding this particular situation, let's leave it to both the DOJ and the administration.
Sorry, sir. Who is investigating these claims? Is it DOJ or AFP?
First, it must be. First, it must come from the military itself.
Okay, thank
Is
you.
there a deadline for the results, the investigation to be finished, to be started? What's the timeline?
We'll see how it follows, how it unfolds.
Thank you, Pia. Philip Tobadesa, Inquirer.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
U.S. Senator Cory Gardner, visited 2 weeks ago, and when he returned to the U.S., he mentioned that he was able to secure a guarantee from the president that the Philippines would stop trading with North Korea. Is that correct? And
The meeting was private, and we're not privy to whatever concerns there were from our side.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Laila Salaveria.
Sir, are there reports that IC's ordered more attacks during Ramadan? Is this going to affect our deadline in Marawi?
I don't know if you call it affect, but it's something that our deadlines are, include all of these concerns, and so I'm sure that's going to be factored in.
Sir, how are we responding to these reports that more attacks will be planned?
Well, with concern and with continued decisiveness.
Okay, thank you. Last question, Trisha Macas. Okay,
Dun sa,
Laila, other
Yes,
issue.
ma'am.
sir, follow up sa health ni
Yeah.
President. How is he doing as of today? Is he well enough to work? Or did he receive medical advice to scale back his activities?
Well, I suppose, frankly, you don't need medical advice in order to tell you that you should rest. Your body tells you that. But anyway, having said that, he is resting these days.
Today, sir, is he...
Today is resting. It's private time.
Okay, thank you. Questions? No more? Thank you, Malacañang Press Corps. Thank
Yes.
you, guest. Okay.
Oh, sige, may isa pa. Hit it.
Okay, Laila,
From
sorry.
Trisha. Until when, sir, yung rest days?
Ang we the appointments given to us are calibrated. They're given daily. There's some long-term appointments, yes, but as of today, we know that he has private time. Let's all wish him well.
Okay, thank you. Follow up, Pia.
Sir, just want to ask if the scope that of information that the government had on plans to attack Marawi include yung timeline of the terrorists in attacking Marawi, and if so, sir, why during that time were all the security officials of the country, meaning the AFP Chief of Staff, the PNP Chief, NSA, Esperon, SND Lorenzana, why were they allowed to go to Russia?
They were all on top of the situation. They were actually monitoring everything, So on the other hand, let's also give them credit that actually the actual action on the ground actually preempted proposed the plans. So let's give them credit. Let's give credit to the military and understand that they were actually acting purposively and decisively and actually preempted. I think the key word is preempted. Okay, so I think it's not a question of being failure or what. From their point of view, from our point of view, we were able to stop something that could have been much, much bigger.
Kasi sir, the question to the public was, if the government had information, why were all security officials out of the country during that time? When they had information that
There's
serious
ongoing information, always ongoing information, and this is all being vetted. We're all being vetted, and so the question was, the point is that they were all informed and they were all on top of the situation.
Okay, thank you, Pia. Last question, Ina Andolong.
Related pa rin po, sir. But the military seem to have had a clearer idea of the supposed bigger plan of the group when they discovered yung video po. Are you saying that similar information about yung kung
No,
ano
the
rin po-
video was not received until during the fightings. Okay.
Yes, but you're saying, I just want to clarify that even without the video, you knew about that plot
They knew that
said in the video.
they knew that there were activities on the ground, and I can only say that so far. They knew that there were activities that there were abnormal activities. Abnormal activities, yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Malacañang Press Corps and guest. Thank you, Presidential Spokesperson Ernesto Abella. Thank you, DICT Secretary Rodolfo Salalima. Back to our main studio sa Radyo ng Bayan and PTV.